Alright, so in this Python video, we are going to be talking more about conditionals. Let's get started. So we already know if else statements, we know if, we know else, but we don't know elif. And I'm going to talk about elif, and we have and, we have or, we have tons of stuff we need to talk about when it comes to conditionals. Let's just get started. So I'm going to get started by writing a small program. So I'm going to do int, and then we're going to put user input. I'm going to ask for the temperature, and we'll put this, alright, there we go. And we'll set this to value to x. Alright, so now x is saved in here. I'll terminate the program. So we're going to write if else statement. So I'm going to write if x is less than 100, I'm going to print the temperature is okay. Right? Print the temperature is okay if x is less than 100. And we also have an else statement that it's hot outside. Alright, so if I run this program, it's hot outside. If I do 99, the temperature is okay. That's how the program is going to work. What if we want a third condition? Right, in a third condition, we would use elif. So I can just say, if I can just say like something like elif x is less than 30, I'm going to print it's cold. Right, and if I run this program, let's see what we get. So I feel like 20. The temperature, I get the temperature is okay. Now here's where this is flawed. Over here in the if statement, I have if x is less than 100. And this if statement dominates the program. So this elif no longer matters. So what I'm going to do here is, and if you see in the semantic error we're getting, if I put -1, I'm going to get the temperature is okay. So clearly you have an issue. So here's what I'm going to do. If x is less than 100, and I'm going to terminate the program, and if x is, we're going to set this, if x is greater than 59, the temperature is okay. Now here's how this is going to work. It's cold. But if I do something like 60, the temperature is okay. So our program is working because of this and. And the and is basically, so what's happening in the program is, I'm going to do another sample one. So what's basically happening in the program is, first, the if statement is saying if x is less than 100 and greater than 59, so we have a range of basically 60 to 99 is going to print the temperature is okay. But if we have in the elif statement, if x is less than 30, we print it's cold. Else, it's hot outside. Now here's the flaw. Here is the flaw. If we print 40, it's hot outside. So we can just fix this using some more and, or 30 and x is less than 59, it's cold. Now what I'm going to do over here, if I print 40, we get it's hot outside. So what's basically happening here, if x is less than 30 and x is less than 59, here's the issue. If x is less than 59, it can be less than 30 as well, right? So to fix this, right, we can convert this to elif. And the elif statement will say elif x is greater than 100, it's hot outside. So if I write the program, say 40, we still don't have an output. Now, I'm gonna ask you to debug the program and come up with a solution to the error. Alright, so hopefully you've come up with a solution. What we're first going to start off with is if x is greater than 30, how we're going to do it, if x is greater than 30 and less than 59, we're going to print it's cold. Now if I print 40, it's cold. We have a range now, so that's how our range will work. We have opposites, and that's how the range is going to work. Now we need another elif, because right now if I just say 30, we won't even have any statement for this. So we can have another elif x is less than 30, print I can just remove the space, and now we have a program that should be working. So if you like -1, it's too cold. And let's test the 40 again, since the 40 is where our arrow is coming in. It's cold. So that's how your conditionals are going to work, and that's how we would debug such a program. Now let's move on to OR. So our program works, that's our program. If you want to save it, you can. Let's move on to OR. So if I say, like, I'm going to do another input, enter a number, and then we're going to have something like that. And now what we're going to do is, I'm going to do an if statement. So if x is greater than 2, or x is greater than, and if x is greater than 2, or if x is less than 1, and I can do print okay, something like that. So I can use my OR statements, and x is not defined. We need to set this value equal to x. Now if I run the program, if I enter a number 0, I'm gonna get okay. But if I enter a number that's greater than 2, which is like 3, I'm also gonna get okay. So what this program is doing is, if x is greater than 2, or x is less than 1, it's going to print okay. So either one of them is true, it's going to print okay. That's how it's gonna work. And so if I do this, enter a number, 2 is not going to work since it's greater than less than, so let's try 1. We get okay since 1 is less than 2, obviously. And 1 is less than 2 because in the program over here, we know that 1 is obviously going to be less than 2. We put in a 1 in this x, it's going to be less than 2. If I put in a 3 in the input, enter number 3, I'm going to get okay, because if I put in a 3 in this x, 3 is greater than 2, that's true. So that's what's going to print. And now if I do AND, here's what's going to happen if I do AND. And I'm going to make a better range. Less than 10. And if x is greater than 5, we're going to print a better range. I'm going to enter a number. Now over here, AND. Let's just print something like 11. I'm not going to get an output, and here's why. The AND will take if x is, well, AND is out of the range. Let's do something like 4. I'm not going to get an output. And let's actually try 6. We're going to try 6. 6, we're going to get okay. And here's why. If I plug in a 6 into the x, 6 is greater than 5, and 6 is less than 10. But if I do something like, let's actually change up the range a little bit. If x is greater than 5 and x is greater than 10. Now over here, x is less than 5, x is greater than 10. If I put in a 5, no output, right? No output. If I plug in x, that's none of them is going to be true. But if I let's plug in a 4, no output. If I plug in a 4 to the x, both of them, none of them are going to be true. Let's plug in a 6. Now here's where this is flawed. If I put a 6 in this x, this part is true, but this part isn't. And the AND only works if both are true. If I put an OR over here, if I put OR, if I just replace this with an OR, and then I put 6, it's going to return okay because either one can be true. That's how AND OR works. So that's more conditionals in Python. Hopefully this video was helpful, and yeah.